Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, December 5th here at 6 o'clock. We'll call the Wright County public notice for budgets to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Tonight here is the annual time of year that we review the proposed budget for 2025 and open up to the public for comments and questions regarding the 2025 budget. If you are here today to question the valuation of your property, this is not the correct meeting. That meeting takes place in June, and staff will help you to get you the information and put you in contact with the county assessors so that you can contact them to get the valuation corrected. But this
Looks
meeting
like
here,
that's what you're here for.
I'm here for that, yes.
Okay, I'll help you out.
And that's what the meeting of the paper says right here, December 5th.
that's for to talk about the levy, the budget of the county. It's not to talk about the valuation of your property. The valuation of your property,
Say that in the letter that they give us.
I guess,
I thought this
But
was
you
a
wanna
truth
help
and
explain? I'll let-
taxation meeting.
pardon me?
I thought it was a truth and taxation.
The Truth in Taxation meeting where we talk about the taxation of the county operating budget. Yeah, but the valuation, so it's not talking about the entire statement. The valuation of your property is the Board of Equalization. And the Board of Equalization takes place in June. And you actually will meet with the county assessors to discuss your property and work with them with that. And then the final appeal would take place in June at the Board of Equalization.
So according to this, I've already missed the June meeting for
For the previous year,
the previous.
25.
for pay 25.
Your value, okay, so property taxes. take the podium.
Maybe put it
We
down.
didn't
I'll
get
take the
these, we
podium
didn't
here.
get these until,
Thank
what,
you.
2 weeks
No.
ago?
Yeah, we just
Yes,
got
no,
these.
no. So you get 3 statements over the course of the year. The first statement you get comes in, Lindsay, going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say Aprilish. And that is the one that gives you your property tax valuation. The first one you get is property tax valuation. Your property every year on January 2nd gets assessed by the assessor's office. That's when they determine valuation is on January 2nd of every year. So what you have here is based off of that assessment from this year of January 2nd of 2024. That notice went out in April or March, and then the second notice, then you get a second statement, which is your bill for 24 in that same kind of time period, which includes your 2 stubs for paying the first half and the second half. That's for pay 24. What you have before you right now is the preliminary levy estimate for what you would pay in 2025 based off of the 2024 assessed value on January 2 of 2024. Sorry I'm throwing out a lot of dates, but we assess the year before we tax it.
So at this point, we're kind of screwed as far as next year's taxes.
For the valuation, you can still take it to tax court. They do have a concealing.
cost us money
It does. I will admit that it does. But what you can do right now is you can sign up and talk with the assessor's office, and your valuation for January 2 of 25, they can help address that.
But I did that last year, I talked about it because they raised my property taxes up 24.3.7. And you know what she told me? It is what it is. I could take it to tax court, but now what's that gonna cost me to take it to tax court? I mean, you're talking probably thousands of dollars to do it. And it's like, where,
I can help you out with, yeah.
What I would tell you, if you truly believe and you have evidence to prove that that is overvalued, then take it all the way to the Board of Equalization, and then you would come before us here and present your information, and which would be comparables that you have to your property. So homes of the same year of build, same square footage, same features. Within a relative close proximity to yours, if you take those comparables, the assessors will bring their comparables in, and then we weigh that in there. If you can prove to us that you have a cracked foundation in your house, which would create, or just, I'm using that as an example.
Okay, business, you might have, I mean,
do have a residential.
so I work in the county attorney's office as well. It might be worth your time to talk to an attorney if you got a business. Okay? I can't, I'll just give you that legal advice. You can talk to an attorney. It might be worth your time to talk to them. When you have a business, then your valuation becomes high enough and your payment become high enough, that it might become, you might be able to, it might be able to worth your time. People who have residential values that they take to tax court usually get resolved through a conciliation process, which is a very informal process that gets done rather quickly, if you go that route for residential. So, but if you want to, we can sign you up to talk with the assessor's office. They're not here today, but they will call you back soon.
Well, I got that last year, and what she told me, it is what it is. That's exactly what she told me.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, that's not a good,
That is not a good answer.
it's good, not a good answer.
Not a good answer. Nope.
That's why I was here, and that's why,
So,
you know,
yep.
went by this, thinking
So.
I can come and actually voice my opinion
Yep.
on what's going on, and it's like, no, it's not the right.
This is only for prelim levy. That'd be the Board of Equalization. So, all right, we can sign you up if you want, and try to help you out that way.
I mean, I'm willing to do that, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. 'Cause
Cool.
I think
I can show you where it is.
And if you want, I'm happy, or any commissioner, I'm sure from any of your districts or where your business is in Wright County would be happy to sit in with you on that conversation with the assessors, because I don't want you to be able to get that same response back. They need to and owe you the ability to articulate how they came up with that number, not just that is what it is. Yeah. So.
Well, mine went up 35.41%, and I believe I was inadvertently reclassified.
Well, is it
By
agriculture
mistake.
property, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
So there was some things that you needed to do with the assessor to enable to get your green acres credits. You had to actually fill out some
All that
forms.
stuff was filled out.
It was filled out.
Yep, and every time I try to go and talk to them, I am told, this is for our eyes only, you can't see this, which is an illegal act.
Which I'm happy to help
Withholding-
facilitate that conversation with them.
withholding information under the Government Data Practices Act and the Freedom of Information Act. So the county is illegally withholding information, and I have made many special trips to taxpayer services and the assessor's office and made sure all the correct information and forms are there. And this says it is too late to appeal without going to tax court. So you're forcing the citizens into litigation, and I believe that you are using a statute.
So what I'm going to tell you,
Erroneously.
because I can't solve this for you here. This isn't the right meeting. But what I will say is myself or any of these fellow board members would be more than happy to help facilitate those conversations so that we can rectify it going forward in the future. As for what you can do going backwards, I can't necessarily help you potentially with that. But going forward, we can help facilitate these conversations so that we can figure out what is going on with your property and what it needs to be classified at. So if you want any of our contact information, I can have staff get that to you. We can connect you with the proper commissioner for your district so we can sit down with the assessors and help get that taken care of.
If people will stop giving me the runaround, I would love that, because I can never get the straight answer from any of them.
And I don't want to, I
So
want to
they
solve
call
that
the
for
St.
you.
Michael assessor, and he tells me something completely different. So this is becoming onerous and burdensome, and you guys are hiding legal documents
All right.
from people
Well-
about their own property.
All right, what I'm going to tell you is, I'm guessing the three of you are probably going to sign up. I'm guessing that there's three of you. I'm going to tell the assessor's office, they're inviting me to that meeting with you, and the commissioner from your district will be invited as well. Okay? Not out of my, I'm happy to meet with you, with the assessor's office, and we'll talk about it.
All right. Thank you. I wish I could do something for you tonight, but unfortunately that is not in our statutory ability to do
Well,
anything for you
Thank you,
tonight.
Derek, but I think it should be able to be resolved without forcing citizens into tax court.
And I wholeheartedly agree. And I think we can,
There's been some hiding of information here,
and I'm sorry for that.
which is an illegal act.
Yeah, and which hopefully we can resolve this for you, because I know where your
pattern
property
with
is, and
Wright
we should be able to solve this for you, so,
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
thank you. So I'm just gonna give you guys a second here, and we'll continue forward with the budget aspect of the meeting tonight.
I can tell there's a lot of concerned citizens here.
It's, the complexity is the state system for property tax assessment in Minnesota is needs to be simplified for everyone. I'll let Craig get all their information here before we continue on. So we'll just take a short, little, brief 4-minute break here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I haven't seen her in years.
Oh, no.
And there's a separate form you have to file to do that. Because I had the same conversation with Grant Mosher on his property, because Grant got his changed from being ag to losing his hobby farm status. I said, no. I said, you had to fill out a form that shows that you sold those pumpkins off that 20 acres so that you can show that they're used for agriculture use. If you don't prove that, they have to assume that it's just not being agriculture. So that's the, you know. So, doing that roundabout by her house, it was, all right. All right. Well, we'll resume the meeting now. All right, we're good. All right. At this time, we will move forward with our public budget meeting for the few.
Mr. Chair, I can go through the slides quick if you'd like.
Yes, please do.
All right. So we had the 2025 budget. Frank, if you could start moving it. Just so everyone online, and if anyone's watching on YouTube, what the county vision is and what our mission of the board is, which is to lead with fiscal responsibility, innovation, and compassion, which I believe that this budget before the board today meets those goals of the county. And keeping the levy as flat as we can, while also maintaining our fiscal responsibility and our innovation, and to be able to deliver a safe and affordable, family-friendly county. Again, we kind of discovered market value questions. We've dealt with that, I think, already. So next one. Agenda for today. We're now at number 3, the 2025 budget overview, followed by public comment. So where we at are today, we've gone through all of the budgeting process from May, June, with the budget workbooks being prepared. The county board in August held a bunch of committees of the whole, looked at literally every line in this budget, every department, and went through it, made corrections throughout it. In September, we passed the preliminary budget and tax levy consideration with a 5.71% proposed levy increase. We are currently here for the Truth and Taxation meeting, which is our December public budget meeting. After this meeting, then the final levy would be adopted and submitted to the Minnesota Department of Revenue after the December 17th meeting. Again, where we are at here today, valuations, as we kind of discussed earlier, were sent out in March of 2024. That's based off of your valuation from, this says January 1, 2024. Again, then board reviews the final valuations. We had the Truth and Taxation meeting, which we are now at the end of 2024, followed by the adoption later on. But there's our timeline, and then we have the payments due in 2025 based off of the prelim levy, or the final levy that'll be adopted in about 10 days. So where your tax dollars are at work, all of our highways, we have 516 miles of roads, all of our patrols, 911, 9 Great River Regional Libraries in the county, all the programs we provide across the county, our public health, financial and social services with health and human services, environmental services, including recycling, water management, feedlots, and our veteran services. And your taxes as far as roads, for the past year, we had for this upcoming budget cycle, we are looking at a $4.60 per capita per month cost to residents. That is a decrease from the 2024 amount, just slight decrease, as you can see in the graph over on the lower left. And this is our 5-year highway plan for 2024. We had a bunch of projects that are labeled in green on here. 2025 are the pink projects. We have some in the northeast part, but the vast majority of them are down in the south and southwest portion of the county for 2025 for our road highway projects. Parks and trails. For $1.34 per capita per month, we are able to provide access to Wright County residents on 4,727 acres of parkland and outdoor recreation activities. One of the big projects we had this year was the lighting of the Robert Nye Trail, which started planning process of that almost 20 years ago in the mid-aughts. So took a lot of planning, a lot of grant funding, a lot of work to try to get it done. And this will be the first winter where anyone going to Robert Nye will be able to cross-country ski on a lighted trail this winter if we get some snow. Taxes for public health, $1.31 gives us the public health initiatives. As you can see, there's a huge decrease from 2023 after the end of the COVID pandemic. Law enforcement 911 dispatch, that's looking at $11.79 per month, and that gives us the 911 access, pays for all of our emergency services with the sheriff's department, law enforcement, the jail, and 911, as I stated. $1.31 per capita goes to the library services. Again, we have 9 different branches of the Great River Regional Library in Wright County, and that helps pay for it. That levy amount has been, our per capita rate has been fairly flat from 2023, 24, and 25. We're currently working on distribution of the opioid settlement funds from the litigation we entered into against the pharmaceutical industries. We're currently designing and completing specifications for a new household hazardous waste facility at our compost facility to enhance efficiencies, reduce costs of heating, reduce and any staff outputs out there as well. We're currently in the middle of designing and constructing the highway and Maple Lake outshop. The law enforcement center roof got replaced. Crow River Regional Trail Phase 2 is being currently worked on from Rockford to Hanover, and Montissippi County Park is in a redesign. So projects completed. We completed a roundabout at Truck Highway 25 and CASA 83, bridge replacement on CASA 2 between South Haven and Fairhaven, Schroeder Park Campground redevelopment. We completed LiDAR imaging flight, again, as I mentioned earlier, the Robert Nye, and one of our biggest ongoing cost savings we'll have with the highway department going forward is the construction and completion of a road salt brine manufacturing facility, which will bring the cost of salt brine from $1.46 per gallon down to 27 cents a gallon, saving almost over $100,000 to $125,000 a year in salt brine production. So the 2025 budget, the preliminary budget was set at $208,176,035. Preliminary levy was set at $100,427,279 for a 5.71 preliminary levy increase. Tax capacity growth was estimated at 1.7%. And here are the revenues, where we get most of our revenue. As you can see, the biggest line is property taxes, followed by federal grants, state general aid, state categorical aid, charges for services, and then the other revenue streams. And the 2025 budget spending, as always, personnel is our largest expense, followed by capital outlay and services and charges. And how every dollar is spent. General government, which includes the recorder, assessor, veteran services, planning and zoning, finance, administration, information, technology, general things just to keep the government running and that impact everyone across the board just generally, is $23 for every $100 spent. Public safety is $22 out of every 100, followed by highway operations at 25 and human services at 15. And then the remainder breaks up public health, parks, conservation, natural resources, debt service is $6, and then we just have the other category at 2. Here are comparable counties. I think Wright County is sitting fairly well compared to some of our neighboring counties for our levy increase this past year at 5.71%. And this, again, information on the screen was provided by the Minnesota Intercounty Association, and numbers may have changed since we originally pulled this data. Tax capacity versus rate. You can see our tax capacity decreased in 22, 23 over that time period, but Our main goal here, as Mr. Chair could probably allude to later, and the rest of the board, our main objective in passing the budget is to try to make sure that we try to keep a stable increase for people, so that's not a huge spike year over year, but to try to maintain consistency and to try to keep things as flat as we possibly can for people. So, Mr. Chair, that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to pass it over to you, the board, or answer any questions as they come up here.
Thank you, Administrator Kreiser. At this time, I don't see anyone from the public present, but in case there's somebody in the room that's missing that wants to ask some questions, please come forward and state your name. Would anyone like to speak? Would anyone like to speak? Would anyone like to speak? If not, I will close the public hearing, and we will, if necessary, some parting comments by board members, we will conclude this public hearing at 6:20. With that, all right. Thank you, everyone.